I want to fire you guys up, and I want to show you some of my work. Zero to shebang. Sailing's always been important to me, and it taught me a lot. It taught me how to goal set. It taught me how to be the best at something in the world. Everything, when I stopped sailing, I just translated everything that I put on a sailboat onto that camera. And I became laser focused on becoming the best headshot photographer I could. And it's worked out. So I work hard at it, as hard now as I did when I started. But I had blinders on. I was like, there was one goal, there was one focus, and this was all it's gonna be. And fortunately for me, the headshot industry in New York is phenomenal. And fortunately for you, the headshot industry in the world now is phenomenal. Back when I started, I shot all actors. I shot actors every day. You know what that did for me? It got me really good at handling difficult people. An actor has so much pressure on them to get a good headshot. They've got their agent, their manager. They could have all the talent in the world. The marketing tool is the headshot that steps them through the door. You know what that was? That was training ground for me. I'm so good with every individual, no matter what they do, because I had to do somersaults and jump through hoops to get these actors to do what I needed. So what has happened over the past 5 years, I've noticed this. My business has gone from shooting 95% actors. If you sent a CEO to me like 10 years ago, I'd be like, what the heck am I gonna say to this person? What am I gonna do with them? I have no idea what to do with them. I always shoot actors. I just mess around with actors. I'm gonna be like, I just get them in front of my camera. I'm like, okay, I need you to get deep on this look that we're doing. You got to play like you're playing. I always use this, so I'll just use it. I want you to give me a look like you're playing a crack addict and you just stubbed your toe. You're not gonna say that to a CEO, are you?
No, sir.
No, right? So that's all. I had stuff like that. Like all in my brain was all this stuff for actors. CEO comes in. I'm like, I do what I believe every photographer does that doesn't have their shtick down or doesn't have their direction where it should be, which is probably 99% of us. I mean, I think this is the area where photographers lack talent. They can take the most technically beautiful picture, but talking to their client and getting their client to do something interesting is very difficult for most photographers. So I went into that mode. And that mode is this: turn to your left, turn to your right, tilt your head this way, turn your shoulder that way, smile, chin down, chin up, good, great, wonderful, blah, 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 blah. What did that get out of them? It got this: turn to your left, turn to your right, smile, head this way. That's what we do as photographers. Now, I'm not saying we don't have to do that. We have to get them in the position we want them in. But the problem is that all that direction doesn't create anything for them. It doesn't create behavior. So my direction went for figuring out how to make the person behave in front of my camera. My job now, and what I really believe in, is that I have to rip the expression off that person's face. Their expression may be theirs, but I own it when they're in my studio. When clients come in, I call it doing a digital identity dig. I go in and I start Googling them and seeing about them. There's a couple of reasons why. One is I want to research them. I want to see what shots they have that I'm going to smoke. I'm going to be like, I got that thing wrapped up the minute you walk in the door. I like seeing where I think a shot's inferior, and I know I'm going to take that person's personal brand and go from here up to here, because I can do that in one shot. I know I can do it, and I know all you guys can do it for people. I think it's incredibly important. And in this day and age, this is what people are coming to me for. People are all about their digital identity and making sure that they're putting out there to the public what they want the public to see. Obviously, technically, you want it to look good. If technically it doesn't look good, you're not going to do them justice with their personal brand, are you? So you got to get your technique down. Your technique should be down before they walk in the room. You work on your technique with your friends and freebies. Go nuts. Once you get it down, you get what I call gopher light. It's the light you go for when you're going to shoot your best work. That is the light I go for when I shoot my best work. It's set. I know it inside and out. I know my settings on the camera. I know exactly what it's going to look like for every human being in there. I know, I can guarantee by setting up a lighting setup, like it happens to be a setup that I designed called the Flex Kit. But I know when I put somebody in that light, they probably, chances are they've never been in light like that before, looking that good. So all I have to do is put them in there, point the camera in their general direction, press the button, and before I even said a word, they probably have the best shot they've ever had. Just because technically it's so sound. I'm gonna make sure it is, I have to. And then what I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take it over the top. And the reason why, I'm taking a headshot, but I want them to feel something. I don't want it just to be a headshot. I want them to remember it. I am capturing a moment in time in that person's life at that moment, and I'm gonna give them, whether they know it or not, the best picture of their life at that moment. And my purpose is to give them an incredible experience and have them feel something. And it's this: to touch anyone in front of my camera in a way that captures a human expression that's authentic, reactive, and based on trust. That's what I really like to do. So I want an authentic, a human expression that's authentic. So it's got to not be as if they're in front of a camera. Reactive, to me, my work is all reactive. It's all based on reaction. If you read the book, all the stuff that is basically direction-based and part of my Hurley headshot system, we're going to talk about that because I'm going to bring it up, is the reactive part. To me, it's about that reaction that you create from the direction that you give. And it's all based on trust. So they believe that you know what you're doing. A human expression that's authentic, reactive, and based on trust. I come up with good stuff sometimes. I came up with this all on my own. And I know it's kind of cheesy but I want to hit them in the heart. I have that moment. There's nothing else going on when they're in front of my camera. It's only me and them. I can't just let that moment just fly by. I have to touch them in a way. So this was me plopped on the windowsill, black and white. I did all the processing in the apartment and ran to my mom's house on weekends and did the prints. She had prints hanging all over the place. This was my headshot when I was acting. I was good looking, man. Look at that. I was young. I was had it together. That's my wife, my lovely wife, who was my muse and who I got to photograph when I first picked up a camera. She was the only one I photographed, really. So, and these are my kids. So I wanted to put my family in the book, and I wanted to talk about how I started. So this is my studio now, and I'm shooting, these are natural light headshots. I get questions from people that get really caught up in the technical, and I wanted to start the book the way that I started, which was not technical, but just with the camera in my hand and using natural light. And people always ask me, why do you always do headshots on clean, like white? And I was like, it's the simplest thing that you could put behind the person. I don't want anything cluttered up back there. I just want to see the person. An actor, because I started shooting actors, they don't need another character like anything else in the scene. For me, with this guy, this is a painter on the set of Lost, and this is like his workbench with all this paint. And when I do portraits, I like a lot of stuff. I like stuff in there. Environmental portrait, I want your eye to visually go around the scene and see different things. So on sunny days, I would diffuse the light coming through the window. And on cloudy days, or when I didn't have direct sunlight, I'd just take it off. But you guys can do the most amazing, beautiful, simple portraits using just a big window. You have no excuses about gear or equipment or anything like that. Just simple stuff. Getting a solid corporate shot out of somebody, important these days. Everybody needs one. But yeah, let me get a camera. Now I am going to need a human being in front of my camera. So everybody knows I am shooting a 5D Mark III with a 100 millimeter macro on it. Okay? I've got all my lights set up evenly to 30%, and what I'll do is I'll adjust them a little bit here and there. So, and I do it as a square, and I like to jam them close together, so that's why I've got 2 1x3s on the sides and 2 1x2s up and down. And the reason my kit's sold like this is because I like the 1x2s, because if you put 1x3s up into, then everything's too wide. I like it really compact. I like to use what I consider the inverse square law to get the light as close as possible so I have the most control over it, the most contrast that I can get out of the light. So we got to pick an ISO, and we're going to do it as a room. We're going to do a guess shot. The reason why we guess is because I want it close enough that I can use the shot. If it's overexposed, I want it close. I don't want to just take a shot and have it be black and then adjust from there. I never do that. Let's look at the light. I like my light jammed in people's faces. So,
do you want me in closer?
No, I want you to step back a smidge. I don't want you in front of light convergence. So all these lights converge at a certain point. I don't want her in front of my light convergence. So that's about how tight I like my window. Guys, look at the light on her who can see it. If you were a human light meter, where would you be? ISO 100. Everybody think 100 is good? So it's continuous light. If I go ISO 100, that means aperture, shutter speed. Do we want a really sharp image from the front of the nose to the back of the hair? Or do we want something to, do we want to mess a little, we want a little fall off, or what do we want? F8. You want F8? All right, so I think 100 ISO is going to give me, I need a little bit more juice than that. All right, I don't need to go 400, but I think I'm going to go, let's go 200, all right? Now everybody's looking at me and goes, he knows exactly what the setting is. Yeah. But let's let you guys guess. Okay, so 200. So then, now she's a little fidgety, right? She's nervous, she's freaking out in there. Are you an owner, a poser, a diminisher, or an avoider? Where would you, if you were going to guess?
I'd say probably a poser.
Poser, okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, and that's probably you. I think she's going to do well in there. She volunteered to get in there. She's standing there.
She did. I
Comfort.
pushed her in.
You did? All right.
It's okay. I want to get away from her for a while.
All right. So what I'm going to do with Liz? So let's take a shot. So we're going to go. Give me a shutter speed, guys. I'm at 200 ISO. We don't want to be at a 60th of a second because there's going to be some movement, right? We don't want to be 800, 1/125th, 125, 1/125th. All right, we'll go. I'm with you guys. Let's go 1/125th ISO 200. Give me an aperture. 6.3, 5.6, 5.6. Is everybody all right with 5.6? You want to go 6.3? 6.3? Let's just do straight in. I usually shoot, I don't really give them much right off the bat. But I will usually just assess their behavior a little bit. So let me see, I'm assessing. Why is your chin up that high? Good. So there we go. All right, so exposure-wise, pretty good. It's a little dark. It's a little warm, all right? So what am I gonna do? Right when I start, so this came in, I didn't touch any of the settings. This came in like this, right? And every screen's different. I'm looking at a calibrated monitor. Now every monitor in here is gonna be a little different. I'm going off mine and it looks a little warm. So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna pop it down. I'm gonna keep popping. I'm gonna keep popping. I'm down from 5,900 to 53, 52, and it's starting to come together for me. I'm also looking I'm not only looking at her, I'm looking at the background. So the background, I love shooting my white wall and letting it fall off to gray. However, that blind that we're using, because I didn't bring a backdrop with me, that blind's got it's got a yellow hint in it, doesn't it? It's a little yellow, isn't it? So if it was white, I could go off of it to try and adjust it with my eye. Now, Some of you may shoot a gray card and use that. You might be fine with that to get a ballpark, but in my opinion, you always have to tweak it because her skin tone's different than my skin tone, which is different than your skin tone, which is different. Is a gray card gonna tell me the difference between your skin tone and mine? I don't think so. I don't think so. So what do we have to do? We have to account for that. So I'm at 5177 and it looks pretty good to me. It looks a little bit cooler on that screen, but it looks pretty good here. Are we good with that? All right. And the tint is -5, which is a little bit more towards the green side, and she looks a little bit warm, so I could probably bring it down even. Let me bring it up first and just see if we pump some red into it. Yeah, it's too much. I don't know. I really don't move this much. I actually don't mind putting a little bit of a little more tint into it. I'll leave it at 1.0. I shoot raw. Guys, if you just don't shoot unless you're shooting raw. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Just raw. I can always adjust it later. I'm good with it. So now I usually will not do this in a session. I'll just start shooting different angles and see what I like. But since we're here, okay. Good angle, right? Good angle or not as good. Like that's her, like in here. In here is good. Not bad. I gotta get you, what's with, not as good, right? Just, you guys with me? Like this is the best shot, right? That was the best shot. So now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna know if she looks better on that angle than, let's say, that angle, I'm gonna concentrate on that angle. Why? No, why wouldn't you? Why would you not do that? How long did it take me to figure that out? Hold that for me. Chin down more than you think. Hold that. Guys, did we get a shebang there? Did we get a shebang? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, shebang! All right.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.